I've wanted to fly since I've been a small kid. Always have. Just aeroplanes fascinate me. And I like the army, so I thought an army pilot's a job for me.
It's something I've set out to do now. Originally I didn't join the army originally to fly, but once I was in the Army Air Corps, I actually had my heart set on flying.
It's just come to a point I don't seem to be achieving anything anymore. So I want a way forwards, and a way forwards, to my mind, was this. So I have to give it a go.
This is the story of Pilots Course 354. It's the story of 10 soldiers with one ambition, to fly helicopters for the Army. They've all passed rigorous selection tests to get this far. Now they have a year to earn their wings. It'll be the most demanding year of their lives.
Every single one of you will have a hurdle on this pilot's course.
But heels to go down underneath the chairs, and Chris also needs to stand up.
Totally blind.
You move that tree a little.
Look at my hair, it's a complete mess.
Into the lens. Thanks very much.
Good morning, 354 Army Pilots Course, and welcome to the Chipmunk Squadron here at Middle Wallop. My name is TROWERN, and I'm the Chief Pilot. You've now got some 6.5 weeks to achieve 31 hours flying time with us. Approximately 15 hours of general handling, 10 hours of navigation, and some 5 hours of instrument flying. I see 10 happy smiling faces. I sincerely hope in 6.5 weeks' time, when I've done your final handling tests, there'll be 10 happy smiling faces still, and that you progress on to eventually achieve your Army pilot's wings.
Before they can start flying helicopters, Course 354 have to learn basic airmanship skills. This they do in Chipmunks, fixed-wing planes built in the 1950s. At this stage, they're taught by retired RAF pilots who've clocked up thousands of hours in the air. Lieutenant Jenny Firth is the only woman on the course. She starts with an early advantage because she already has a civilian pilot's license on fixed-wing planes.
Ever since I can remember, I've always had an attraction for flying. The additional plane, if you like, the third dimension, you can be up in the air, whilst everybody else is confined to the streets, walking around or in cars or what have you, but you can be up there going over the traffic jams and flying around.
Jenny may enjoy an easy ride now, but her advantage will disappear when she moves on to helicopters. Corporal Mark Hitch has no previous flying experience, except the 13 hours he did on selection.
Have that loose now, do sir?
Although he works in the Air Corps as a ground crewman, he's used to servicing aircraft, not flying them.
I've done 6 years on the ground side now with the Army Air Corps, cleaning, refuelling, and also doing lead checks on startups. But now it's actually come on to the time when a ground crewman's going to come out and do the lead check for me, and it's going to be me taking off and flying away.
Fuel on, brakes on, throttle close, switches off.
Fuel on, brakes on, throttle close, switches off.
I mean, I've often wondered, especially when I was younger, Christ, why can't it be me in there? Why can't I have a go at that?
Mark knows he only just made it through selection with a borderline pass. Now he has to prove he's really worth his place on the course.
It's going to be a hard year. Up until 365 days away. That's you working. you've not passed, it's always over you. You've got to keep working and keep working until the end of the course, until you've got the wings on your chest.
Very good. Right down the middle. And we're looking for 17.
Brakes off, flaps up, and engine within limitation.
Just a little too high nose attitude, I think.
Don't actually start trimming until you've got your 70 knots. Get your wings level. 70 knots.
The next to take off is Second Lieutenant Andy James. At 21, he's the youngest member of the course, and like Mark Hitch, he hadn't flown before selection.
I never really knew anything about the Army Air Corps until I went to my liaison officer at school, and he said, "Oh, you like doing fun things and jumping up and down, so why didn't you look at the Army Air Corps or something like that?" And so for the last 2-3 years, I've basically been set on getting to Sandhurst, passing out of Sandhurst, still sponsored by the Air Corps, and then getting on my pilot's course.
Now, I want you to get into the way of moving your head around all the time. You know those puppets that you see on Thunderbird? You know how they sort of sit there nodding their head, sort of moving their head around? Yes, sir. I want you to do that, okay?
Right. Are you confident?
Yeah, have to be. Because if you're not, then you're going to get out there and the first thing that goes wrong, you're going to start flapping about. And too many people panic. In Ireland, you come back in and people say, "I'm so stressed." And you say, "Why are you stressed?" "So it's terrible, I've got so much to do." And if you start thinking like that, then everything piles up and it all goes badly.
So you don't panic?
Well, we'll see. I try not to. It's very rare that I have a flap, but I might do.
Oh, that's a bit much, sorry. Okay, full power. And climb back. What did you do wrong there? I have control.
You have control.
You whammed the stick forward instead of in a brutal, licentious, soldierly right way. What? All we need to do is just to lower the nose enough to install the wings. Okay?
Right, sir.
None of this brutality. Right, I'll just do a quick check around and you can have another go at that.
I apologise to the chipmunk.
It is 40 years old. So okay, you have control.
I have control.
Straight from there, go. Now, when you throttle back, every time you throttle back, your right foot has got to...
Every new pilot must be able to recover their plane from a stall. It's an important safety maneuver, but it's not an easy one, as Andy's discovering.
Full power. Full, come on.
I'm full.
No, I have control.
You have control, sir.
What do you think about that one, then?
Was that... I pushed it forward in another brutal...
Well, you didn't push it forward enough on that occasion.
I didn't.
And of course, when the wing dropped, you tried to pick the wing up with aileron, which is not
dangerous.
Allowed.
Yeah.
Okay?
1012-036. 036 departing to the south.
Meanwhile, Mark Hitch is about to be shown just what the chipmunk can do.
And then when you're ready, we're going to enter the climb. So checks for the climb.
Fuel contents left is full, contents right is full, mixture fully rich, and the carb air to cold.
Carb air cold.
Engine T's and P's within limits. The generator warning.
So a good look around now. Left and right over the top, and away we go.
You go down to loop, straight up into the top, turn it over, back over into loop, turn it over, and then carry on, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? How was your landing?
All right.
Did you bounce it in?
No, I was crapping myself like because he comes in and he's going, it's not too high, and it went bang, and he just stayed there. I thought, oh,
you got away with it.
By the end of the day, Course 354 have safely completed their first flights. Now they go their separate ways.
I'm eating chinchilla.
Mark Hitch and the other corporals head straight for the cookhouse and an early evening meal.
You normally knock off about 4:30, whatever. You go down to Scoff, down to the Soldiers restaurant, down to the cookhouse, and you normally just get the usual half a battery chicken leg, chips, beans, and a bit of gravy.
He's being forwarded onto a fire control system. He did not know he was a target. A target for who?
You're normally starving again by 8, 9 o'clock, so it's down the kebab wagon or whatever, or down the chinky, or you send someone out to the chippy or whatever.
I say, chaps, isn't the food surprisingly good tonight? Excellent input on last night.
For Andy James, dinner in the officers' mess is a far more formal affair.
It just pops up. It just pops up. For supper during the week, you have to dress in suits. They don't expect you to go in jeans and scruff gear. And you're to act as an officer and a gentleman. It is a sort of gentleman's club, and that's the same in most messes. Even though we're on the same course as all the corporals, they don't really know what we get up to here, and we don't really know what life's like for them.
Although Jenny is an officer, she doesn't live in the mess. She shares a house in the married quarters with her husband, Steve.
It's quite nice to be able to leave work, go home, you know, obviously see Steve in the evening and do whatever I want. I actually think that's quite healthy.
So where did you fly to then, Jen?
Just around and about, just north-east of Andover and then over to Salisbury Plain, to Everley Down.
Right.
Obviously, I still partake of mess functions and I still go into the mess, but I can lead a normal life as a married woman as well as a pilot on the course or what have you.
Oh, there we go. My broccoli is looking a little worse for wear.
In the air, rank is unimportant. Everyone faces the same hurdle. They all have to go solo within 5 flying hours. Just 5 hours to learn how to fly a circuit of the airfield and land safely on their own. They practice circuit after circuit until the flying becomes second nature.
Now your speed's low, so punch the nose down and put the nose down. Make a movement. Not with a trim wheel, man. With your hand on the throttle. We can't afford to let the aircraft descend or we'll hit the ground. Keep your hand on that throttle. No matter if your head itches, does it?
The eyes on forward moment, but and the look ahead and make sure you've got your wings level when you're doing the DI.
Bloody hell. Stick right forward. Keep her on the ground while you accelerate.
Right, everything just went totally out the window then. Concentrate, just think what you're doing.
Before you can get out of an aircraft happily and send the guy solo, he must have demonstrated to you that he can do a considerable number of landings without any form of assistance from you. And I don't mean physical assistance, I mean verbal assistance as well. If your speed is too high and you pull the stick back too quickly, you'll go up, which is bad. And if you don't pull it back quickly enough, you'll bounce the main wheels and get a dose of kangaroo petrol for about 100 yards.
Ooh, wonderful. Okay, roll, go. Full power. Look ahead. Miles ahead. Pick up and keep straight on.
Jenny is the first to go solo.
Okay, we've got 2,000 RPM.
With her previous experience, she was expected to do well, but it's still a relief to make it through the first hurdle.
Climbing at 70.
It's wonderful going solo for the first time. Your instructor decides that that perhaps you're up to it, and he hops out and gives you the thumbs up and waves you off.
Right, 200 feet, brakes are off, temperatures and pressures are within limits, and flaps are up.
In some ways, it takes a lot of the pressure off flying by yourself, because you haven't got somebody sitting on the back watching what all the dials are doing and so on.
Coming up to 400 feet, right turn, onto the crosswind leg.
I'll do them. Boom, whizzes through.
Over the next 2 days, the course followed Jenny's example and managed to go solo. They can stop flying circuits now and move on to more complicated sorties. But one trainee has fallen behind. Mark Hitch had a good first flight, but since then his flying has deteriorated. After 5 hours, his circuit work isn't good enough for him to be sent solo. He's still finding it hard to land the plane smoothly.
I'll put your book back inside while you're getting your chute.
Yes, sir.
If you sort out a parachute.
Yeah.
Mark's instructor thinks the problem is one of commitment rather than technique.
You see, after one trip, I did question him after we came in, and I said, well, you know, how's it going? That was a bit better than the last time. And he said, well, I'm not really enjoying it. Didn't enjoy it really, and that's, one questions his motives when somebody says something like that. Whether he's really keen enough on, you know, whether he wants to keep doing it, to try and do it, or whether he's just looking for something as a way out.
What do you think now? Do you think he's going to make it through this?
Well, it's a toss-up. I'm not sure. I don't think he will, to be honest, flying-wise. I think he's keen enough on the ground, he's shown that. Working hard, but I'm not sure that's enough.
Yeah, I mentioned it was to take away, but it doesn't matter because I found my old paper somewhere.
Having failed to go solo, Mark has been placed on review. He'll now be isolated from the rest of the course, given a new instructor and just 3 extra flying hours to sort out his problems. He must go solo in this time, otherwise he'll be thrown off the course. As the first trainee on review, Mark is under close scrutiny. Everything he does now, in the air or on the ground, will be assessed for signs of weakness.
I can't honestly put my hand on my heart now and say I'm enjoying it. I mean, I got accused of daydreaming in the cockpit, and when I turned around and said I'm not daydreaming, then I got an ear bashing for it. That made me feel then, if I'm putting 110% into something and I'm getting bawled out for it, then that's it. Confidence lost. And that's why I wasn't enjoying it, because I'd lost my confidence in it. I told my parents on review, for the good that they know about it, it doesn't mean anything. So if you say, oh, I'm going on review, and they say, oh, good, well done. No, you don't understand. That means I'm doing crap.
This is make or break day for Mark Hitch. It's the day of his 3rd and final review flight. If he doesn't go solo today, he'll have to leave Middle Wallop without setting foot in a helicopter.
This 1 hour now will determine the rest of my flying career. Pass this, then I can go on to something else. Fail this, then I'd stay on the ground. But in this next hour, it's got to be perfect.
While Mark prepares to take off, the rest of course 354 are relaxing. They've been so concerned with their own flying, they've been unable to pay Mark much attention. But now, just a month into the course, they're having to face the prospect of losing their first member.
you know, at the end of the day, it's be very sad if someone does fail and you don't get to have them there for the rest of the time, and it'll be quite noticeable. But we can't sit back and sort of wallow in it. It happens all the time on courses. And as though it sounds callous, you've just got to sit back and get on with your own flying and not worry about somebody else.
Brakes off, and there's no one on flaps.
All right, let's have a power check for your takeoff.
2,000 RPM.
Good.
031, Wallopp radio.
He's under a lot of pressure, and when you get to a stage like this, it's frightening. What can you say? You know, what can he say? We can help, we can be sympathetic, and push him in the right direction and try and cheer him up. But once someone's on review, you can only talk to them and advise them. You can't fly it for them.
Mark knows what he's got to do. If he can fly 3 good circuits and make 3 good landings in a row, his instructor will let him go solo.
Brakes off, engine T's and P's within limits, and the flaps are up.
Okay, good start. Perhaps slightly more nose down would make me feel more comfortable, but you've got airborne around the right speed.
Okay, sir. Clear of the right wingtip.
Keep that lookout going. Whoa! Oops. Don't take your attention off the horizon. Stick right back momentarily and roll.
Mark's landings are improving. He's completed the 2nd circuit without a problem. But time is running out. There's only half an hour left on the clock.
Rather good one, eh?
Sir.
Seeing the ground well this morning. That's the way to do it. So how's it feeling, Mark?
A bit more relaxed, got a little bit more confidence back.
Good.
But I'm still being a bit slow to make decisions, I think.
Close to the ground, I would agree with that. Aggressive decision making close to the ground is got to be coming from you so that you can make your mind up quickly what to do.
So,
you can't be too analytical about it, you've got to be reactive. Right, I sprung it on you there. You know why, don't you?
No, sir.
I'm going to get out and let you go on your own. But I didn't want you to think that was going to happen during that last approach. I didn't want it to sort of condition your process, you see.
All right, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
You happy?
Yes, sir.
Have a nice trip. You've worked hard for it, so enjoy it. All right? We'll see you in about 6 minutes.
Trim is 2 divisions nose down. Pllor head is on, taxiing lamp is on, engine T's and P's are within limits. Harness is locked and tight, hood is forward and locked. The mixture is rich, the carb.
With 15 minutes of flying time left, Mark's instructor has given him the go-ahead for a solo circuit. This is Mark's last chance to prove he can make the grade.
Stations from squadron, mean wind 20 knots, gusting 27 knots.
But now he has a new problem to deal with. The wind is gusting to the very edge of the safety limits. If he doesn't take off quickly, the flight will be stopped and he'll have to start all over again tomorrow.
Try this at home, kids. Brakes off, engine T's and P's within limits, and the flaps are up.
I think he's a bit nervous, but he was fine. I think he was pretty happy, actually. He'd done well and he knew it. We had no ifs or buts and there was no doubts. Well, he knew everything that he was doing, so he's really ready.
Mixture rich, carburetor hot, fuel contents left, contents right sufficient. The flaps are up, my harness is locked and tight, the hood is forward and locked, and the brakes are off. And 90 knots, 800 feet. Looking good, looking good. Know the traffic, one landing, and the right wing tip is clear. Okay, let's get this baby on the ground.
This is the most important moment of the solo circuit. If Mark's to come off review, he has to prove he really can land safely on his own.
And he's forgotten several things that he's been taught, and therefore there was a little bit of porpoising, a little bit of bouncing. But he knew where the ground was and he didn't hit it too hard and he stayed down. So he's done a good first solo. And he'll be feeling pretty good, but I'm afraid we're going to have to stop it there because the wind has now gone out of limits.
To tell you that it was frequently 20, gusting 27, and that's come to a metal.
Having gone solo, Mark is taken off review. He can now relax and rejoin the rest of the course.
Solo gone.
Hey. Right. Just need a surplus tomcat on the way.
You just got away with that as well.
Huh?
You just got away with that because as you pulled away, they transmitted the new wind strength, and then I couldn't.
Yeah, I heard the wind strength and I thought, shit, before he stopped, spin around the corner.
Well, I just got caught because I was just behind you. And I couldn't.
Chucked the bananas.
Right.
You happy, Mark?
Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic. I just think you better watch that film on your own, like, because I was singing away to myself up there. No, it's mega. Good.
By the end of April, all 10 trainees passed the chipmunk phase. Their dream of flying helicopters is now only one step away.